Hey there, it is Irene Lyon. Welcome to this video and to this YouTube channel and to this world of healing trauma, nervous system health, and all things neuroplasticity. I wanted to answer a question, and it's also sort of a general need to know, I believe, when it comes to how we as humans are learning about the nervous system, learning about what trauma is, and then what we need to do to heal, to change things, to improve, to bring resiliency back to our bodies so that we can live not always in survival mode and always in this sort of state of having to heal and take care of chronic health issues, whether it's mental or physical or relational, social. And the question I get asked a lot, usually in lead up to when I run my signature online program, SmartBody SmartMind, is it better to do that first or to work one-on-one? And it's not an easy answer. And there's a few reasons for that, and I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to talk about my own experience. So the reason I created these online programs that you can find on my website, it's because when I was heavily in private practice, I was spending sometimes 60% of my time sitting down with my clients, with my students, and honest to God, drawing on pieces of paper and on my whiteboard how their nervous system works. The way that we activate, the way that we deactivate, how we store traumatic events, how our fight, flight, freeze works, how the system will create a chronic illness to basically cope with excess survival stress in their physiology. And it got to a point where I was like, this is ridiculous. It isn't time effective for not only me, but my clients to spend a lot of money to be with me for an hour to give them what I could just create and offer to people, kind of like a university course, right? So that was my first kind of realization that we need a different way to teach people about their physiology. Now, the number one reason why we want to learn about our physiology and about the complexities of it and not dumb it down is because us humans in this crazy environment of ours, it's complex. We're not like that herd of, cattle or sheep or impala or the lions and tigers in the animal kingdom. I've done another vlog on this. I will link that below. We're different, right? The way that our parents bring us up, depending on where I am in this house right now compared to someone across the street, is going to be totally different. But if you were to go into the wild, how mothers raise their, say, cubs, it's the same in Russia as in Canada. And one of the reasons why is because of our brain, our higher brain. Humans have culture, we have art, we have expression, we have creativity. And because of that, it's wonderful, right? That's why we enjoy so many things in the arts and science has been developed and we can communicate. It's because of our higher brain. But because of this higher brain, we need to understand the depth of what's going on in our physiology, in our bodies, so that when we are healing primitive traumatic stress responses in real time, we know, oh, this increased heart rate, this isn't bad. This is actually my autonomic nervous system giving me a fight or flight response because I'm processing sensations. And rather than be afraid of it and try to run away and get rid of it, I have to be with it, sense it, build the capacity and foundation to be with it, right? So if we don't understand a few more kind of layers of how the human system stores, traps traumatic stress and how that can pop out in various illnesses, we can often be very confused and sometimes unaware of things that are being given to us, and they actually are clues or cues to maybe pause and stop and be with the sensations or the emotions, or maybe it's anger that's coming up. So many things that occur in our human system that we just haven't been trained to notice. So part of education, or part of the education I would do with my clients, would be teaching them all these various distinctions. And that can be done self-study, that can be done solo, right? It doesn't have to be done one-on-one. Now, in addition to the one-on-one work where you're doing this psychoeducation, I realized also in my practice that a lot of the practices and a lot of the homework I was giving my students could be done, again, without me there. Like, I don't need to sit and teach someone how to sense their skin or their muscles, or to track breath through all the various places that breath can go in the body, or how to tune into their kidneys and adrenals and teach their stress response how to come down, how to tune into the brain stem and learn how to reorient to the environment so that we see what's around us. This is one way that we can help to bring down our sense of fear in the environment, is to actually learn how to see what's around us in a real-time, cognitive, but also sensorial and action-based way. So these, I call them neurosensory exercises. I was starting to develop these for my clients and would give them to them, in MP3 format now. And they would take them home and they would listen to them and they would practice. So I started to compile all of these resources, and eventually over the years created SmartBody SmartMind, which is a 12-week online neurosystem rewire program. Now, the thing that I want everyone to understand is that this program does not replace personal private work. And it's really important for you to understand that one isn't better than the other. They work best in complement. And one of the questions we get, because a lot of times people can only choose one, and I will often say, if you have the capacity and the wherewithal to do a bit of self-study, to go at your own pace, to follow my lead, to learn, to practice, to involve yourself in the community that we create when we're in session, which is my team helping people, answering questions within our various forums and Q&A calls that are live and online. If someone can take part in that and engage, even just a little bit, that is a wonderful way to start, because what it does is it gives you the education, it gives you self-study practices, it gives you community, and slowly over time, over the weeks, over the months, you grow capacity. And when you have more nervous system capacity and more knowledge, more of that higher brain knowledge to know, oh, this is what's happening in my body, and capacity to track, when you do go see someone one-on-one, whether it's a somatic experiencing practitioner like myself or a Feldenkrais practitioner like myself, maybe it's a massage therapist, maybe it's an acupuncturist, maybe it's a good old-fashioned GP and you're getting your blood pressure checked. Whatever it is, when you go see that one-on-one person with these skills and with this capacity on board, you have a greater ability to really let that information, that treatment, that care sink in a different way. And here's what my colleagues have told me who do the practices that I do, namely SE and the work of Somatic Practice, which is Kathy Kain's work, and Feldenkrais. They have found that when people have gone through this intensive curriculum that I've developed that is SmartBody SmartMind, those people that come are more ready to do the work because all these layers have been laid, essentially, right? They haven't had to sit in my office where I'm doing private tutorials hour after hour over months, because you only can do one session a week usually if someone's lucky. Usually it was once a month or twice a month. But because they were given this information in this packaged online format, which is brilliant in my opinion, they then go into the private sessions and things are just a lot more seamless. Things are more effective. It doesn't mean the work might not be hard, right? It might be intense, but the ability for that person to go into that tsunami wave or go into that wave and ride the wave and come out onto the sand is way different when they have those foundations already in place. So when someone asks, what do you recommend? Private work first or the online work that I've created first? I say if you can do and start the online work, it'll make the private work that much easier, that much easier. The other thing that often is asked is, I want to get ready so I can do the online work. So I think I need to do some private sessions first so I grow capacity. That might be something that someone might need. But if you're here watching this video, if you have some modicum of independence and you can get out of bed in the morning and go about your day and make yourself meals or find food, and you have a roof over your head and you can pay for a computer and internet, and you know how to reach out to even one person who's maybe your support network, if you can do that, I honestly feel that starting with the online work first and gaining that education and then going into private work is the way to go. Now, some people will ask, can my kids do this? Can someone who is in a treatment facility do this? When someone is not able to take care of themselves, I would then say that the online work is probably not the best fit. So, for instance, teenagers, I found they don't do well with this. They do better when they do go and see someone one-on-one, or they go to a group setting and they work, hands-on with a therapist or a counselor or a coach. Same with little kids. You can't plug in a DVD and have them learn the intricacies of their nervous system. To work with kids, we need to use play, right? Way more play. If someone is chronically ill, so chronically ill that they really can't get out of bed, if someone's attention span is super short and it's hard for them to, say, read a short article, then I would maybe say that the online work isn't the best, because you do have to have a little bit of resource on board and capacity to read, to listen, to have enough energy to put aside time. So back to the original kind of question, which was, what should I start first? At the end of the day, you got to do what feels right for you, right? For some people, that might mean you got to work with someone one-on-one. Maybe you have a physical injury and you need soft tissue work. Maybe you are someone who had such early developmental trauma that it's too triggering to listen to a voice coming out of a computer. Then I would say do some private work. Everyone's going to be different, but from my experience, like I said again, if you're here watching this video, you can take this information in, you know how to kind of look away and pause when you need to take breaks. Then this way that we've created to do online learning and healing, I think, is a great way to start. And know that when you do this work, it carries through forever. It isn't just something that you start and then it's done at the end of the 12 weeks. Most of my alumni have come back and repeated this program over and over again, which is what you get when you do register and you become a member. You're a member for life. You get the content. As long as the content is there and I update it, it is yours. So if this is something that interests you, if you want to really become an apprentice of your nervous system this year in 2019, I would love it if you would check out the work that I have created, the online work, SmartBody SmartMind. Right now, as I create this video, we are about to start up my healing trauma video training. It's a 3-part video series. It's free. It's a way to introduce you to my work, to my style of teaching, and really to the science of the nervous system and what I call my unorthodox healing blueprint, which takes you through all of the steps, all of the kind of must-haves in your toolkit, in your toolbox, so that you can start to rewire, grow capacity in your nervous system, regulate your system, and really stop living in survival stress and start living in what I like to call our healing DNA mode, which is, I think, where all of us would like to be. All right, I hope this has been useful. I hope that this has given you some insight into how I came into this work, how I've created this work, why I created this work, where I feel someone is a good fit for this work. And I will post below some links so that you can sign up for that 3-part video training. It is complimentary. I will also link below my program, SmartBody SmartMind, and of course some other resources that I mentioned earlier, so you can watch and learn and read and just get to know this stuff even more. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next time.